and welcome to GeoBuiz. We are catching up with Lars Dyrud, CEO of OmniEarth. OmniEarth is providing a range of services, Earth observation services and solutions. Can you explain a bit about your activities, please?
We've been focused very heavily throughout last year and this year as well on water resource management. So we deliver a complete solution to water agencies and other businesses that need to find ways to use water more efficiently and effectively. And so we're applying machine learning to Earth observation data to create ground cover classification for all the types of materials that matter for water, impervious surface, turf, trees, buildings, etc. And then we bring in weather data and water meter data and water usage data to create an efficiency rating for every single commercial and residential property in the districts that we cover and serve. As part of that, our big push and expansion for 2016 is our OmniParcels Database. And so it's a bit of an extension of what we've been doing in water, but we're expanding it to a long list of attributes and attaching them to parcels or addresses, and again, for every residential and commercial property in the United States. And we're adding attributes that are relevant to a number of industries, from insurance to advertising technology to landscape management. So we're identifying things like the presence of solar panels, presence and size of swimming pools, presence of a deck or a trampoline or not, and then combining those into things we call hyperindices, so just a single number of direct relevance, so the risk of a tree falling on a roof, for example, or the probability that a home is unoccupied for foreclosure or insurance reasons.
Okay. Is it the data set that you're creating, OmniEarth is creating, or is it for any particular client?
This is a general data set we're creating for a long list of clients. We're expanding across the United States. We'll be done with the whole U.S. by the end of the year. Right now we have the bulk of California covered, good chunk of Phoenix and Arizona, much of the Washington, D.C. area, and some other areas. So we're expanding based on where our customers are asking us to expand, but we'll be done organically with the vast majority of the United States and certainly the majority of the U.S. population areas by the end of the year.
Considering that California is under drought conditions, how are the user agencies really using this data set for their purposes?
So we deliver our solution which is both data and the analytics associated with it, and everything we do is cloud-based, and all our solutions are delivered via the web. So the customer gets a login, and all their information is right there for them. It's updated automatically whenever new data comes in. Similarly, we work with a broad range of partners, and they can access these same data sets, so the address and parcel-based information, such as a water budget or square footage of turf for a landscaper. And they can pull that directly from our API to integrate with their own applications.
OmniEarth is getting into small satellite business, and can you tell me what is the rationale behind this move?
Well, it's actually, that's where we started. So we announced about 2 years ago with our intention to build a constellation of small satellites to cover the Earth everywhere, every day, between a 2 and 5 meter resolution, and that's something that we are still pursuing. Our company has 2 divisions, a satellite and services division and an analytics division, and we feel it's important and critical to actually maintain those 2 divisions and the interconnection between the two, because our analytics folks help inform the satellite and observation folks about what next generation measurements would really drive automated analysis for valuable end customers. And similarly, the satellite folks help inform the analytics team of the new types of data sets that are coming online each day. And so we think the communication and collaboration between those 2 teams are really a differentiating factor for us.
So what is the timeline of this constellation, and what is the progress so far on that? We've
spent the past about year and a half talking to and working with major potential customers, getting letters of intent for subscription on the system, and similarly working with vendors to design and continue to drive down the costs and timelines associated with building the system. We need a little bit less than 2 years between initiation of funding for the system to getting it on orbit. How
do you see this imagery from small satellite really enhancing the usability of Earth observation imagery?
For me, it feels like very early days in what is going to be a rapidly growing industry. I liken it to what cable television was experiencing back in the late 70s and early 80s, and so some of the times I get asked a question like, well, it seems like there's so many companies trying to pursue some type of system. And the truth is, the approach, not all of them will succeed, but more importantly, there will be so many more companies if we dial forward 10 years from now. It's kind of like right now we've got CNN and HBO and ESPN out there, and someone's asking, why on earth would you want to start Home and Garden television? And so I think by the time we're all done, we'll probably have a couple hundred of these companies, but they're each offering, just like the cable TV channels offer something different for different niche customers. Different types of data, different resolutions, different revisit, different spectral bands, different measurement modalities will all enable different niche applications, and I think there'll be a demand for a very diverse set of companies pursuing different measurements over the next few years.
We're seeing a lot of emerging opportunities in geospatial industry and small satellite industries, which is mushrooming. So do you really see a lot of money in this sector at this point?
The Earth observation industry is still only a few $1 billion annually, but we've always looked at it as really something that's growing into the Internet of Things. It's another data source. Internet of Things is not just about individual sensors here on the ground. Remote sensing provides synthetic sensors, and it can do so globally and over very large areas and measure things that sensors on the ground cannot. And so we really see the Earth observation and the big data analytics associated with it really merging into much larger and faster growing industries. So that's where we really see all the growth being driven, and that is just starting to happen right now. And the way you notice it happening is we're getting end users and customers who are using the information that have never heard of a satellite, never heard of aerial imagery, because the information is being derived from it is brand new for their industry. So that's just starting to happen right now, and I think that's going to continue to accelerate growth in what is already a well-established but still only a few $1 billion annually industry. I think we'll see it completely mushroom as it just folds into this Internet of Things world.